How's it going, everybody? Today is Sunday, January 18th, I think, right around there, 2026. It's kind of typical winter day. At least we had sunshine. So I went outside a couple times. It was decently nice, kind of windy. Just one of those days, but this particular Sunday is one where I decided over the past week that I was going to not work today. It's the first Sunday that I haven't worked in a long time. Other than a brief vacation I took last summer. Increasingly as time goes by, I kind of get a little bit tired, and it seems like my energy gets derailed. It's harder and harder to recharge. And I got a new TV. That's awesome. Hadn't had one in a year. And so I surf YouTube a lot, and I saw on there some commentaries about Genesis and about the creation story, and about how God rested on the seventh day. And one of the pertinent ways that I understood this was that the work ceased. So it's like, okay, to me, the work is so deep and so wide and so vast and so unbelievably numerous, in the tasks that have to be done, that it's like, aren't you losing a day when the work ceases? And so I thought, okay, I think this is one of those biblical concepts that I have been ignoring. And I thought, okay, I'm going to take a day off, and I'm just going to sit around and do nothing. And I'm going to see how that changes my dynamics. I certainly felt the urge to go work more than once. And I have a feeling that, the progress of the work is not going to matter in the grand scheme of things if I miss Sundays. And I don't know what it's going to do to me otherwise. I will say that it's been a relaxing day. It's been a quiet day. I mean, I literally hadn't done anything. I did go to the driving range and hit 2 golf balls, and I hit them perfect, and it was cold out there, and I thought, nah, I'm not going to do this. I'm going back home. It's too cold. So I had one meal. That was enough. Cup of coffee. And the rest of the time, read the Word, prayed, contemplated things. And it was definitely a day that, had no pace to it. And so I'm going to be very interested to see what happens over the course of the next week as a result. What's it going to do? How am I going to feel? maybe it will recharge me a little bit. Maybe I'll have new energy. Maybe I'll be refreshed. Maybe I'll be more productive. I don't really know. I'm kind of hoping that it turns out to be that way. You know, the example that God gave us, you know, if I apply it to my life, you know, what's going to happen? It's kind of an interesting thing. You know, my whole thing about posting videos and talking to people and hosting a Bible study and those things is all about really my own endeavor to become a legitimately honest Jesus follower. Someone who chooses that road and invest energy and exercises discipline to be a person who really chooses to implement the teachings of Jesus here on this earth as a human being who is an imager of God. That's who I want to be. That's a desire that's deep within my heart. Why? I can't tell you other than God put it there. And why do I want to share it with you? You know, it's an audio, video, archive history of the development of someone who chooses that. And throughout the course of time, people will see what happens in my life, and they'll see what can happen if you devote yourself to Jesus. So that's why I do it. I do believe that the kingdom of God is here. I do believe that individual Jesus followers throughout this planet are initiating the kingdom here. Jesus initiated the kingdom over 2,000 years ago, but we're here to perpetuate the kingdom and build on it. And if I can encourage somebody else out there to, you know, honestly commit to following Jesus and shining your light out here in this world, the world becomes a better place with every single one of us that does that. Not people who just half-heartedly do it or are CNOs, Christian in name only. The community becomes a better community the more true Jesus following, forgiving, burden bearing people there are out there in this community. And you know, pretty soon, if you develop a community of a lot of true Jesus followers out here, it becomes a utopian thing that God had in mind to begin with. So it's possible. The only thing I can do about it is work on this one. This one right here. It's the only thing I can do about it, and share my story. And maybe that inspires somebody else a little bit. If so, let me know in the comments. See you.